Good girl. Good Perch. Good girl. So as promised, I'm going to show you how I introduce pivots to my dog. This is Sinjaba. She's going to help me today. It's really important that when you're teaching your dog to pivot, they already have a sound understanding of the perch. So they should offer the perch behavior. Sinjaba, break. Good girl. They should be offering the perch behavior on command. You should be able to say, perch. Yes. And they should come back in and stand confidently 2 front feet on the object. You should be able to be standing a couple feet away and tell them to perch, and they should take the perch. Sinjaba, perch. What's your perch? Yes. Good girl. She's offering a couple tricks here. Perch. Yes. Good job. So you want to make sure your dog has a sound understanding of perch. And then to introduce the pivots, you're going to start by facing them. If you want your dog to come into your left side heel position, you'll have the treats in your right hand and the clicker in your left. And you'll be facing your dog. And you're simply going to stand in front of them. And you'll take a small step toward your right. Yes. And as you see their back feet move at all, you're going to click and you're going to treat. And you're going to treat straight out in front of you, almost touching their back shoulder. Yes. By making the treat, yes, treat placement back here at their shoulder, you're actually making them reach for the treat, which is going to cause further, yes, rotation of their body and cause them to actually offer additional steps, which is why treat placement becomes super important when you're teaching this. So our treat placement is back by the shoulder. Yes, good girl. Yes. And you'll see Sinjaba pops off a couple times and I just wait for her to come back on. Good girl. And offer it. The other thing you want to make sure you're not doing is you're not luring your dog around. This is not a lured behavior, it's a shaped behavior. So we want to make sure that the dog is not just following a treat, but yes, is rather offering a behavior and we're marking the behavior that we want. When you're teaching pivots, it's very important, good girl, that you train both directions equally. Both directions are not going to be just equally easy for our dogs to learn. So it's really important that we train both directions. And if it feels like your dog is struggling with one direction more than another, you maybe work that direction a little bit more so that they can be equally sound, especially if you plan on going into competition agility or obedience, in which your dog needs to really have a good understanding of both sides of your body and how to work on each side. So I'm breaking my pieces of food into small bite-sized pieces so Sinjaba can quickly continue learning with me. And now we're going to work on the other direction. So because I want Sinjaba to come into my right side, I'm going to treat with my left and click with my right. Yes. I have her on her perch. I'm going to look for a small step in the direction that I want, and if she doesn't offer any weight shift in that direction, I might take a small step to kind of pressure her. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. Yes, good job. Yes. The other thing that's important to note is as I'm clicking and treating, I'm also taking a step. So every time I take a step around the perch, Sinjaba is not actually seeing me take that step. Yes, good girl. Because I'm taking the step as I'm treating her. Yes, good girl. Yes, good job. She pops off, yes, and I just wait for her to come back on. Yes, good girl. Yes. Yes, good girl. The mechanics of exactly where you treat is going to be a little bit different based on each dog. Some dogs are more flexible than others. Some dogs are more comfortable with sharing their space than others. So it's going to really depend on your dog as to how close to their face you go, how far away from their face you float. But the important piece is that the treat should actually be delivered back here toward their shoulder, causing them to continue to rotate their body around the perch. Yes. After you're able to successfully mark a few small steps in the correct direction that you're looking for, you'll want to up the ante on your dog. So if your dog immediately gets how to do one direction and they're taking full steps, yes, rather than just doing small weight shifts, what you're actually going to want to look for is 2 steps. Yes, good girl. And then you'll want to make sure you up the ante in the other direction as well. Good girl. So you'll see Sinjaba just now offered several consecutive steps in each direction. She knows this trick. She has it on command. Once your dog is offering several steps in a direction, you can name it. I suggest naming this direction side and the other direction heel, because when you take it off the perch, it's actually going to become your heel position. So if I tell Sinjaba to heel, she should spin all the way around. Yes, good girl. Come into a heel position. Heel. Good girl. Yes. That's very nice. Heel. Yes. And even after she's in a loose heel position, if I tell her heel again, she should tuck in a little bit nicer. I should be able to walk all the way around and have her come all the way in, following me. Heel. Heel. Good girl. Very nice. Good job. That's a good girl. And eventually that's the goal that you want to reach for. Hi, Moose.